All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. Today let's talk about why just bodyweight exercises aren't enough. I want to start by talking about the benefits of bodyweight exercises. Obviously the biggest one is that you don't need any equipment. You also learn, you can get a significant amount of strength by doing just bodyweight exercises, and you can also develop a lot of coordination. There are even some very complex movements that you can perform that rely on only body weight. Another great thing about bodyweight exercises is many of them you can do anywhere. And there's a very low entry point to getting started with bodyweight exercises. So there are clearly a lot of benefits to bodyweight exercises, and I spend a lot of time doing bodyweight exercises. But there are some things that really get left out, and why you should really consider adding what in the MoveNat system is called manipulative exercises. These are things like lifting, carrying, throwing. There are some important benefits that you get from performing these movements. For starters, anytime you take an object into your hands, place it on your shoulder, sit it in your lap, it alters your center of gravity. You now have a combined center of gravity. For more complex exercises, like for example a kettlebell swing, where the kettlebell is continually moving, your combined center of gravity is constantly moving as well, and your body has to continually adjust your balance point to maintain your equilibrium. If you don't, you're gonna fall over, or you're gonna drop the kettlebell or whatever object you're carrying or swinging. When you add in more complex environments, this center of gravity can change dramatically in very minute ways that can make very simple movements seem incredibly challenging. For example, just carrying in a front carry position, something like a sandbag, becomes extremely difficult for some people when you make them do the same movement walking across a 4x4. Very little is changed in that movement except the context. You are having to balance your body in a very different way than just walking on flat level ground. Even something as simple as walking across unlevel ground can really mess up your ability to balance your body if you've never practiced it. Some lifting and carrying techniques actually have a lot of steps. They can be very complex if you're going to do them very efficiently. There are ways to muscle things and get them into position, but as loads get heavier and the context gets more demanding, you have to come up with different ways to get things up to your shoulders, or up to your chest, or into your lap, that unless you practice, you run a much higher risk of injuring yourself when doing. Techniques like lapping or cleaning require practice to do safely and efficiently. The first time you ever try and perform it is out there with one of those 80-pound garden soil bags, and you've never done it before, and you're not a big, strong person. One, you may fail and not be able to do it. Two, you may succeed, but you may injure yourself. It's always better to practice these movements ahead of time and get a feel for the technique. You'll also have the side benefit of building up better strength and coordination, which will lower your risk of injury overall and raise your quality of life throughout the day. If you ever watched a professional baseball pitcher throw a ball, it's easy to see how complex this movement can be. And to make things more interesting, this tends to be a one-sided affair. People who can throw a ball right-handed often can't throw a ball left-handed. So you can see very clearly the level of sophistication in the movement practice for something like that. Now, obviously, not everybody needs to be able to throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but the basic mechanics apply to lots of things, even just playing catch with your kids in the backyard. These are useful skills that have benefits to practicing, if only from the neural conditioning that you receive by doing them. And let's not forget a major reason why we should practice manipulative movements. Obviously, like I've already mentioned, you get a greater load, which means a greater training response, but humans have these. We have an unparalleled ability to manipulate objects. We have extremely dexterous fingers. We have collarbones, which allow our arms to easily support weight without having to rely on musculature to support the weight. This allows us to manipulate things in ways that many other critters just cannot. If you just look around a city, you can see how sophisticated we've gotten at manipulating objects to create things. Sculptors, painters, these are all high-level examples of object manipulation. Baseball pitchers, Olympic lifters, again, all examples of high levels of object manipulation. We're capable of incredible levels of manipulation, and the more you practice it, the better you get at it. You could say that manipulating objects is a huge thing about what makes humans humans. And my personal opinion is anything that is a huge part of what makes you human, you should engage in. You need it for your well-being. It's a part of who you are. Find something that you enjoy, explore that kind of manipulation. For some people, it's combat arts. For some people, it's painting. For some people, it's rock climbing. For some people, it's lifting weight. But explore that manipulation. Become proficient in that manipulation. Pick a new kind of manipulation, challenge your neurology, challenge your brain. Build better and newer neural connections. Be more human. So that's why you need to practice more than just body weight exercises. Run the full spectrum of movements. Do you have a favorite type of object manipulation? Put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what they are. If you like the video, smash that thumbs up button. Share the video with your friends. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Until next time, keep your life in motion.